Hi everyone. I am so happy today in this second episode, the second time, the We Shall Talk. I am so grateful and happy they have tonight beautiful friends who just meet, but it was instantly a connection and empathy since we saw each other um, during the workshop with Muse R, the creative writing. And it's a pleasure the Jasmine Delaviz be here with me. And Jasmine is that person that you can see that beautiful face. She's always smile, and even the platform we met through this Zoom meeting, you can feel her kindness, and that's when the things is make me think we can keep going our friendship, and that's the reason today I invite her to talk and be part of my project. We shall talk. Jasmine is a poet and educator from Iran, and she's now in Malaysia and based in Malaysia. She has a bachelor in art and English language and literature. So today we will be with amazing people, girl who know the literature and books, and so we will talk around that. And I hope everybody have a good time. And I would like to say, welcome Jasmine Delaviz to my We Shall Talk. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yannis, for having me, and hello, everyone. I'm super happy to be here. Although there is a massive time difference, it's nighttime in Canada and it's morning in Southeast Asia, where I am, Malaysia. But as Yannis said, I think at the end of the day, it's about the connection of hearts, and the feelings are definitely mutual. Yannis, I felt your kindness, and also even if it was just through an online platform, I felt instant connection, and I thought, okay, Yannis is the type of person I want to carry on being friends with. And when you suggested the idea of having a series of myself and one of your episodes of series of conversations, I jumped at the idea. I thought, oh yeah, fantastic! I would love to. So yes,
Oh,
I'm super happy to be here.
oh,
So much.
it's true. It's sometimes you don't need to meet physical the person. Sometimes it's just energy, and I feel that with you and with other people I met in this time, the pandemic time, through the platform, the Zoom or the other meetings online. And sometimes it's wow, it's amazing. One day when we can meet physical and celebrate our long friendship for that time, and it will be nice. So I would like my audience today. I have the pleasure to know you better because this program is more to talk about us as a creator, as a female, as a mother, and that's my all main idea. So I will start with a back question with you, and it's what was your favorite book as a child? That's
Ooh, that's a very good question. As a child, I I especially enjoyed English literature growing up because English was not my first language. I gradually learned it, so I mainly learned it through reading books. And from early age, I was exposed to abridged and simplified versions of Shakespeare's works. So one of the first books that I was familiarized with that helped me also fall in love with English literature was The Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. There are fairies in it, there's a princess, there's a queen, there's a king. So there was nothing for a young girl not to fall in love with.
yes.
I would always go back to that book. In fact, when I wanted to expose my own son with literature, the first book that I bought for him was a simplified version of The Midsummer Night's Dream, yeah.
That's beautiful. No, that's, I would like to ask you that because in the time we spent together and also after I saw you are so avid and you read a lot and you always have books to show. So that's when I say she has to be this girl like me, reading all the time when they were a child, because
Yes.
yeah, that's you can feel that. Thank you so much. My second question is something more about immigration, because you moved to the Iran to Malaysia. So how was, it's a general question, I know, but how was your first time as an immigrant in that different country? And what challenges did you face, like all the immigrants?
Oh, I love this question so much
Thank
because
you.
I could talk about it for hours. And
We have
also,
time.
yeah, and it's also one of those questions that I feel like every single time I want to ask another woman, especially, how they went through the experience, how it changed them. And also, one of my passions is actually to be able to be there for other people who also immigrate and migrate and start a whole new life in a new land that is not
This is
theirs and it's not home. The
yes.
instant feeling I can tell you, Yanis, was that when I left Iran, I realized that I am not home. This is not home. And no matter how many times you travel to places that you fall in love with, or even you live for a long time in a country that is not your, you know, your hometown or your motherland,
Yes.
the feeling of home just never is easy to access. So that was the first thing that I felt. And it really made me appreciate the meaning of having a land of your own, somewhere you can call home, somewhere where the culture is familiar, the language is familiar, the food is familiar, the traditions and everything. I remember sometimes, because when I first came to Malaysia, I was a student, and I was renting a room. So sometimes in my room, I'll be sitting, studying, writing, or reading, as you do, and I would hear the conversation outside the window on the streets. And every single time I could hear people talking in a language that was not mine, my
Oh,
heart would shrink a little, and I realized, yeah, I need to make it. I need to learn how to adapt, and I need to understand that this is not my home, but I have to try my level best to make it home. It's been 10 years. I've
wow.
learned the language to a good degree, I would say. I think I have learned a bit of the culture, I hope. And yeah, and so far so good, but it definitely was not very easy at the beginning, which I'm sure you share the same feeling as myself.
Yes, now the reason I ask that because almost all the female I invite and the people I invite, because I will invite men too to this program, mostly the people are immigrants or immigrants. So I know it's like almost the same feeling, but everyone have a different story and different, and I really love listen other people experience because that make us uh, more connected. I think that's the listen that and listen the experience and learning because it's another place now. And
Absolutely.
thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you. Thank you. Um, I know that you have um, just in the light of COVID. I love that how you say that in your in your in the life of COVID and the pandemic. You found the persona poetry association,
Mhm.
and I would like to tell us about what it was your motivation and who are the people around you and your creative group. And yeah, tell me about what is persona poetry association and what do you do and whatever you want to tell us.
Yes, exactly. In light of the of the pandemic, um, sort of like, I guess, also searching for the light within the pandemic.
Yeah,
To
that's
some
the reason I love that's sentence. It was like exactly in the light. These programs born in that space as
yeah,
well.
it's
So
the pandemic child. I had the idea of creating a platform for especially females, and also again with the same background, if they are immigrants, refugees, if people, especially persons of color, would like to have a platform to be able to express themselves better, especially within, you know, this uncertain and difficult times, for them to be able to find peace. Now, this peace can be peace of mind, peace of heart. They want to be able to, you know, calm themselves down, to be able to write down their feelings, because I believe at its core, we study literature because it's supposed to gift us empathy and understanding, and also make us kind, as in, you know, that's, I guess at the end of the day, the main reason why we're here, isn't it? Love.
yes, exactly.
So I feel like also the same situation could happen and can be established through writing, creative writing. It creates a platform for us to be able to write down our feelings, share our feelings. So we hold workshops where a group of like-minded people, judgment-free zone, can sit down and think about their feelings, you know, swift through their feelings and write it down and share their ideas with each other. It mainly is for aspiring writers and people who would like to learn to be able to express themselves better
Mm,
through writing. So I'm hoping that our circle keeps growing
of
and it becomes
course.
bigger, and it becomes more international, as you said at the beginning of our meeting today as well, because I feel like um, to have a community, mostly an international community, is what we're after.
Yes.
Um, and I could see that through the workshops that we attended together, and I found it so precious that people from different parts of the world, different time zones, different backgrounds, can sit down and talk about the same thing. And it
Yes.
can, like what you said, Yanis, I think it's very therapeutic, and it also makes you feel like, oh, I'm not alone. This is a very universal experience. So why not share it with everyone else and see
Mm,
how they deal with it? Or maybe at least we can hold each other's hands. If not much, at least we can be there for each other to listen to each other.
it's
So
so
yeah.
beautiful. No, I knew we had to talk about that because the time we spent together in all the nights in the
Yeah.
workshop, the Muse Art, I realized we had many points of view very similar and connections, and one is that connect peoples and building bridge. I call myself I am a bridge because I always before the being immigrants in Cuba, I always be like that, connect peoples and cultures and be around the other communities, not my own Cuban community. And here is I keep doing more because it's more possibility to do. So I'm so happy that you talk about that. And of course, your workshop would be amazing to open abroad. um,
Thank
yes,
you.
yes. I would like, because it's about you, I would like you tell me your experience about the benefits of creative writing and poetry is really, as we know, is endless. Is
Yeah.
can help in many ways, or mental health and also or creativity is something everybody has to experience in one time in life. So for you, what is your reason for writing creatively or writing poetry? I know that question is like, oh, but don't worry, you can tell me.
I think immediately when you asked me the question, is the first thing that came to my mind was to diarize my human experience, if
Of
that
course.
will be the best way to put it. Some days we feel super happy to be here, to be alive, to be able to make a difference. Some days we don't really feel so much so, and we just carry on and we pull through. So I feel like writing poetry allows me to diarize the roller coaster of feelings that I can go back to, I can reflect. It will allow me to understand how I'm going through this experience so I can better myself, I can better the people around me, I can maybe make a difference in someone else's life, even if it's a small one, just by them reading my words, thinking, oh, I had the idea, but I didn't have the voice. So at least I can read it through the words of this other person who has maybe gone through the same experiences. For me, it's very cathartic to read poetry. When I don't know where else to go, I find a poem that speaks my heart, and then I feel a connection, and then I feel less lonely, and I feel connected, and I feel strong, and it allows me to carry on. So I'm hoping that someone would also read my words and think that, okay, so this is a common experience. I shall survive, and everything will be all right.
Oh, that's beautiful, Jasmine. And I have to tell to our audience, your work is so beautiful. I have the privilege to be there and listen your uh, the draft we do together in the workshop, and then see the pro. I don't have the books here. It's over there, and
I,
and
I
yes,
might have it.
I know. I know you received already. I saw the news.
I
So
got to experience it twice.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And see your word there. Yes, I recommend everybody. Please, I will left the share. I will left the link after. I will share that, and you can have to read the poems. The Jasmine there is for no for work for
Or
peace for
there's a
things.
short story, a metafiction, mini fiction, and also I think four poems.
I I I'm not sure. I'm not sure. No, it's okay. But we will share that. I can.
You got a lot during
Yes.
the workshop.
No, it was amazing because it's another opportunity to write on every night and keep inspiring and keep all the week work around that. So I really we have to do more workshops like that and keep
Exactly.
inspired.
Definitely.
Yes, yes, yes. Um, so I'm. I would like to ask again, what is one thing that you love about your creative work when you create something? What this?
Okay. I don't know how exactly to phrase this, but I sort of feel like there are these hidden parts to us that are pushed back because of the everyday life and the rat race and everything else that we go through on a daily basis, just ticking things off the checklist and the to-do list.
Mm.
So when I look back at my creative work and I see that, oh, there is the manifestation of this jasmine and that jasmine and this, so like there's different I guess dimensions to our characters that only manifests itself through creative work. And when I look back at that, I realize, well, sometimes it can take a really dark twist, and I read back some of my poems and works and think, okay, where did that
That's
come
it.
from? Yeah. And sometimes it can be so gentle and it can be so tranquil, and you read it back or you look at it back again and you think, oh wow, that's beautiful. I have that in me. So I guess to be able to get to know myself better will be my favorite thing about creativity.
Yes. Thank you so much to say that because I agree with that. I agree when you write, it's like it's a revision that yourself all the time. You look digging inside of yourself every day, and that's amazing. So as a mother,
Yeah.
that's a big question now. As a mother, because I had the same problem, how how you manage your self care. That's a big word now around the world, and we have to
Exactly.
be aware with them. How you manage your self care as a mother and creative or artist or also educator as well. How you balance? What is your tips? You can share with
okay,
us.
that's a very good question. I love that one as well, because we don't really talk about it so much. I know that, again, like what you said, Yannis, beautifully. Yes, it is the in thing. Everyone talks about self-care, but there's no breakdown of it properly to know exactly how to, go about things. For me, I feel like I knew that I wanted to be a mother, and I was in love with the idea of motherhood, but we really do not understand, like in a tangible way, how much how demanding it can be a mother, because this little person that you have brought into the world does not know anyone else, does not seek support from anyone else but you. And then you have this separate you, the separate idea of who you want to be, who you are, your own ideas, your own dreams, and your own goals and whatnot. And then at some points you feel like these two clash. For me, that was the biggest challenge,
Yes.
to have to compromise to that level, to actually think that I need to put this aside for maybe a month, a 2 month, or 6 months, or a year, even sometimes for some mothers, to be able to, be there for my child. And then only would I be able to, carry on with everything else that is also part of my journey. So to share the journey with that little person, I think will be the biggest challenge. And as an educator, teaching is a work of heart,
Yes.
because you need to give yourself 150% of yourself to the job. If you would just like to go and tick in some learning objectives and do a bunch of assessments and get it done with, I don't think that would be what teaching is supposed to be.
Yes.
You need to be there for these little souls as well, who have big minds, they have big ideas and aspirations, and you need to be there for them and listen to them. And especially for me, the nature of the subject I teach, literature, is such that you get the creative ones. You get the ones that have a lot to say, they are opinionated, they want to be heard. So that also has its own special demands. To be able to give you a recipe, how to balance everything, I think the best way to put it would be to say, really, literally, to have a schedule, to turn off some points and then turn on the others. Like, for example, if I am being a mom at this stage, cooking, cleaning, taking care of my child, reading him stories, and just like being a mom, 100%, just being there, I try not to think about anything else. I try. I'm not saying it's 100% possible, but I try. So I guess to find balance. If I'm a teacher, I would try just to be that. If I'm a mother, I try just to be that. But when I'm in the zone, as one of my poems, A Room of Her Own, when I'm in the room of my own, as Virginia Woolf says it, I try not to let anything else come in, because that is self-care.
Yes.
Your heart is with the people in your life, and they are very important. They are super important in your happiness. But also, it's very important to have that time and space just for yourself, because what do they say? You cannot pour out of an empty cup. You have to take care of the cup first.
Yes, I love that. What how you call it? Moraleja? No, that's in Spanish. Sorry.
The saying,
yes,
right?
yes, I love that, and it's true. I asked that question because myself, I find that very important to have that space for us to write, to read, or just recharge the energy.
I love that word, recharge. Yes.
Recharge. I love recharge myself. Sometimes only do this program with you, and now for me, my spirit go out. So up. So yes, I understand. I love what you say, and I highly recommend the people read your poem, the Room by Your Own. That's beautiful. I have a question about Do you listen music? I know you talk about music sometimes, so I imagine you love music. So do you do you listen to music while reading or writing, and why not?
Um, I guess it depends. Sometimes I just like the sound of silence. Again, being a mother, I guess
Yes, I
sometimes
know.
I just want it to be silent, right?
Mm,
Yeah, depending on my mood, sometimes yes. But if not, I would listen to some relaxing music, especially instrumental piano pieces where there's
mm,
just like the sound of, because the sound of piano is a reminder to me of the sound of raindrops.
I
And
love.
it's so, yeah, it's that I just love the harmony of it. So yeah, that is my go-to if I'm writing or if I'm reading. But I also have my guilty pleasures because, like, being Persians, Iranians love, dance music.
I know.
So yeah, so if I'm not writing, if I'm not reading, if I'm listening to music, it's definitely something that's gonna make you want to dance. You don't want to just like sit down and listen. And I guess also my one of my favorite genres of music is Persian traditional music.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
beautiful. I
it's
love.
beautiful.
Mm,
It sounds so authentic and it just like goes through your soul and does things to you. I don't know how to explain, but yeah, Persian traditional music will be the type of music that I would just sit down, perhaps look out the window. If I get a chance after the pandemic to look at a proper scenery, perhaps to listen to that and to just think about the
that's
universe.
that's beautiful. No, I knew because I heard you sometimes talk about music, so I have that question there. Jasmine, this is a question I ask almost all my guests in this program. Is about what did you learn or unlearn in this time of the global pandemic? I know we learn a lot, or no, or unlearn. That's the reason I say unlearn.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh, I love that as much as you say learning is important, especially unlearning a lot of things. The biggest thing for me, Yanis, was that I realized that I was taking lots of things for granted. I always put a label on myself that I'm an introvert, or maybe if I were to be a combination of an extrovert and an introvert, I'm more of the latter. So I don't really like going out. I don't really like to, be outdoorsy. But after the pandemic, I now have realized that, oh my God, I have actually taken all of that so much so for granted. And now, whenever I get a chance, I just want to go out. I want to go to the beach. I want to go to the jungle. I want to go for walks. I want to see my friends more often. I want to hug more people. And I want to really spread this love and joy and passion as much as I can. So, the one thing that I miss the most, and I feel like I came to appreciate more because of the pandemic, is human connection. I never realized that I was so much in need of it, and I respected it and appreciated it so much. So therefore, I guess also the fact that I've been able to connect with more friends online and do more things online, such as this beautiful session that we are having together today. That was the part that I had to sort of unlearn, that I thought that you can be 100% okay by yourself, but no. I realized that I'm a true seeker of human connection, and I would never take that for granted ever again.
That's beautiful. You say that. I again agree with you because I have kind of the same experience. I have been like, oh, I am finding my home. I love being at home always. And yes, and I can be in my ball myself for years in my shell. I call my shell like a snail. And
Yeah.
yes, but I realize in the other hands, I am a social people and I need connections. I need to talk with people.
Yeah.
We need to see each other and hug because my Cuban side. But yes, but yeah, um, it's very nice that you say that. Thank you so much. I would like to ask well, it's something as well I have been reflecting on all this time, and also I asked some of my guests as well. Uh, as a mother and educator and artist as well, what message do you want to convey to the new generation, or to the a global community, because now we are in the global community? What message do you think, as a Jasmine human being, beautiful human being?
Well, thank you. Well, that's a big one.
I know.
Uh, I think that with the changes in technology and the ever-changing, online platforms and whatnot that we might not even know of, that the young generation are delving deeper into. Like recently, I found out that the younger generation, Gen Z, as an example, really does not care so much about Instagram and of course Facebook. That's the ancient history to them. But like now they are into Discord and all these other platforms where they can create their own little groups and chat with each other and whatnot. And I know that this growth in technology inevitably causes them to feel less of a connection to the world outside. And also another danger that comes with it is that technology creates these dichotomies, like these dualities. Are you a cat person or a dog person? I've talked about this, I think, a long time ago with some of my students as well. Or like you become a leftist or the right wing kind of person. You become it's either black or white. It's either this or that. And I sometimes fear that they grow up with just this black and white understanding of the world around them, and especially combine that with technology and how perpetual and consistent it is, and it constantly hammers into their heads. I feel like the biggest message and the biggest request really for the young generation would be for them to really look past these blacks and whites, these dichotomies and these dualities and the high and low. You either this or that. It's either this or that. I want them to actually be able to see the in-between. The gray area. The gray area is what makes us human. The gray area allows for empathy. The gray area allows for this, to sit down and to talk to each other and to lend a listening ear to someone who has something to say without having any pre-assumptions because they look a certain way or act a certain way or are from a certain place. One of our, I guess, biggest issues in the world today is the idea of being an immigrant. You are built to do a certain type of a task. And if not, building everything from ground zero is going to take such a long time. So it's only will be the second generation or the first generation after migrating who would be able to really see the fruits of their parents' labor. But it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be. So I want them to be kind, to listen, and to really think, is this what I've been fed? Or is this what I think? Is this the way the world should be? Can it be better? What can I do to make it better? It can be very simple, just to listen.
Well, thank you so much. No, it's so beautiful what you say. And yes, I agreed. And I had the same hope like you. The new generations can be better than us or better than all. Yeah, my daughter or your son can have a peaceful place, because it's a very hard time now, and global time. It's like everywhere. Even here in Canada, we said we are a very kind place, very no, how do you say, quiet place. No, it's not. In those days, they have been very hard time, global. I would like to, yes, that's a very nice reflection. Thank you so much, Jasmine. Thank you. I would like almost to close, because it will be, I don't want to, we can be all night talk about all day because I have so many questions, but I don't want to be too long because then we have to do a second program. It's better have a left something. Yes, left stuff. No, I always say, because I don't want to do the program for 1 hour, 2 hours, because it's too much that people don't. So they want to come back for the next. So we have to have conversation for the next time. But I would like to close asking you what books you read now. We will close and circular. What books? Because the other day in other meetings we went to grass.
Yeah.
You and me.
Yes.
We met.
Such a serendipity.
Yes.
I went in and I saw you and for a second I had a deja vu. I thought, what's happening? Where am I?
Yeah,
I'm so happy.
Yeah, it was so beautiful. No, I am so happy that we met there in Teen Journal as well, because that's another group, the creative I love to always meet. It was so nice. It was like,
want to go back. I definitely would want to go back to that group. It's a small little group, but it feels, I can feel the connection, and they are so joyful and very supportive, and yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, also send that's right.
It was when you were looking at one of the workshop members' works, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and then we talked about it was her story of someone that we guessed perhaps from the prologue or the first chapter that this was gonna be dealing with mental health issues and perhaps maybe even trauma, and then we had a discussion about, oh yeah, definitely. I would love to recommend this book. Right now, I am reading a collection of poetry by Gillian Clark. Yeah, so that's like a combination of something I'm doing for my students, and also at the same time, I love poetry and to read more into it and whatnot. But if I were to recommend that book according to the discussion we had previously, it's called Eleanor Oliphant.
Okay.
It's Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman.
Okay.
I could maybe even like write it.
Yeah. Then send me the in the mail.
That was one of the best books that I've read. It was an easy read. It was not very complicated, but at the same time, it dealt with very serious issues, and it had this beautiful narrative. So I would definitely love to suggest.
Perfect. No, thank you, because it's a recommendation by the teacher. So, so it will be good. Our audience have a background. What do you read now? What do you read when you were a kid? And so I really love close with them. Like around the sensation.
I love talking about books. I could talk about books for hours.
Oh, that's but next time we have to do a little bit more around the books. I know you. That's the reason I asked twice. The same. Perfect. I will copy there. Okay, let me copy now, because after I close, I forgot. Okay, let me copy out.
All right. Yeah, I do try to do a combination of different types of reading. I try to read one fiction to keep me human, obviously, and then I also try to read non-fiction as much as possible. The background of the author, or like biographies and that sort of work. And I love reading poetry. And so this time around, because I've been preparing this work for my students, it was a blessing in disguise. That's what they say. Feeding two birds with one stone. I ended up doing 2 in 1, which is a blessing. And yeah, these are some of the books that I'm reading right now. Especially if I were to talk about non-fiction, I'm reading.
Oh, take care. Oh,
wow. This.
Yes, I like
Ted Hughes, The Unauthorized Life, Jonathan Bate. When I was doing my bachelor's degree, I was obsessed with Sylvia Plath.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So that never gave me actually a proper chance to be able to also read about Sylvia Plath's husband, Ted Hughes. But I've been working on a collection of his poems, 15 poems, But then I realized that to be able to really understand the man behind the collection, I need to read more about the man.
Of
So I'm
course.
reading about Ted Hughes, and it's been a journey.
That's
Yes.
amazing. I love Sylvia Plath. I think I have the last novel. It was I don't know. It's on the other side. And yeah, I really love her and the poems and also the life she have. It was really her life.
Yeah,
Really
was
her. Yeah.
something.
Yeah, I know. So next time we have to have a section only to talk about
Yeah,
what we
definitely.
read. Yes, let's go to do that. I really would love to do with you. And also, let's go to keep more projects together and how the times go now. And yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Jasmine. I don't know if you think I forgot something that you want to really tell me or
Oh, absolutely. Everything has been fantastic.
yeah,
Thank you so
really.
much for having me. And
Thank
we
you.
talked about things that are so close to my heart. We talked about
Oh,
migration, we talked about motherhood, we talked about creativity, we talked about the youth and the future. Very insightful. I
oh,
really
thank
had
you.
that.
It's okay. It's okay.
Absolutely. Everything was
All right.
amazing. Really loved it. I enjoyed my time. What better way to spend your Saturday, well, at least in the case of
Thank
Jasmine,
you.
Saturday morning,
Yes, please.
with another like-minded human being, a beautiful soul like
Oh,
yourself, Denise. Thank you
thank
so much for having
thank
me.
you. Thank you. Enjoy your weekend and your time and with your beautiful family. And we will keep in touch. Yes,
Oh,
please.
yes, definitely, for sure.
Take care. Thank you so much, dear friend. Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.